So real quickly, we'll go down the line. Monica, we'll start with you. Is there a global perspective you would say that pulls this together?
As somebody said this morning, we are making progress, but it's not equally distributed, something like that anyway. And I think one thing that we've seen here at YII is that different regions have very different perspectives and impetus for electrification and for looking at their assets. Here in North America, and where I live in New England, the assets are very old. And we're talking about resilience, we're talking about repair and replace. We're not talking so much about new. But one of the finalists in the power generation category yesterday was from China. And they were able to get a really big global really big wind farm offshore up and running in 1 year to feed power back because they have such a huge need for it. So it's very different drivers in different regions, but they're all moving forward in their own ways and at their own paces. That's my perspective.
So my perspective is primarily in the U.S. with Burns McDonnell and working with our clients, our utility clients. And to be quite honest, I mean, T&D, power delivery in the States, is probably one of the slowest moving industries that we've seen and noticed. Each utility company is doing things a little different. That's why it's probably good that you're ending this conversation, because in the UK it's very different in the way they approach things. But all that being said, I think it's interesting. It's based off of our conversations with our clients. Each client is different. We have some clients that are we want to do everything. Let's just jump off the deep end. And some that are just still, we're not even in 3D in some of our clients, which is frustrating on our end, but that's why building relationships and having those networks to really show them what's out there, what everyone's capable of doing is important. It's partnerships with vendors like yourselves. I mean, I think is very important moving forward.
Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken to many network operators over the years, and I think it's fair to say that every single network operator that I've spoken to, they're facing the same challenges. They're just on a different part of the journey, And I was really surprised talking to a guy from he was based in Lima in Peru, and he was talking. His challenges were renewable. People starting to think about electric vehicles and battery storage. It really took me by surprise that they were facing the same challenges. So it's the same whoever you talk to. But I think from a global perspective, it's also worth remembering there's still probably about over 700 million people that don't have access to electricity at all, and they are living in those regions where they will be looking for that over the next 15 to 20 years. So there's an even bigger problem that we're just not aware of, and it's how do we facilitate that as an industry?
And I think that's an important thing. We talked a little earlier about each countries in their own state of affairs. I think in addition to creating this open environment for data access to inspire collaboration across stakeholders, across the long duration from planning to building to then operating it, I think this is also an opportunity for us as an industry to collaborate across borders. Each country is going through a different stage, at a different time in their energy history. This is a calling for all of us to help each other, to be very open in our approach. Like you said, take advantage of opportunities where people who don't often communicate are able to communicate to help press us forward. And hopefully, because we are as open with our approach to technology, as we aim to be enablers for those data scientists and software developers that you're recruiting to create these solutions, I think it's just a calling for all of us to do that. And I'll tie it back to one thing that was said earlier about future workforce. The future workforce is motivated by different things now. And one of the things that I walked away from, and I'm curious very briefly if anybody else was, I was inspired this morning to see what's now possible to help improve that quality of life. I think we're at a point where our industry, to attract the people you're looking for, to make energy exciting, is to understand how important it is for quality of life. Anybody else see something similar to that or anything?
Well, one of the speakers this morning said that people my age have messed up the planet, and it's the next generation's job to fix it, something along those lines. And I think that that is absolutely true, and it's a rallying call for a younger generation. So if we can get them on, they are on board with sustainability, they are on board with renewable energy, they have all of the pieces. We just need to motivate them to get involved in the industry, to do something rather than just on a personal basis.
They weren't blaming Generation X, though, right? It was.
Oh, no, it was my
a-
generation,
okay, it
yeah.
was a-
Old
okay,
people.
I didn't, it's like, okay, just making sure.